Hi, I'm Art Sipperly. I'm here in my office in East Greenbush. I wanted to give you a little update and run by on what we do and how we do it and so on. Just a little background information on me. I've been doing this stuff for about 15 years. We buy, fix, and sell houses. We buy a lot at auctions, that is tax deed auctions. I've been trained by folks like, in this picture is VID00002 Cox, and with her is Jerry Fink. I've also had training with Ron LeGrand. This happens to be down in Florida, and he was teaching buying houses, and I was in on that one. I was actually taking a picture. And this gal that I'm with here is Wendy Patton. She teaches lease options. Very good at it. That's her expertise. I also did a class with Robin Thompson. And if you've been on or watched A&E, Flip This House, Than Merrill and his partners, she taught them. And not only did she teach them, she is their private lender. Now, what I'm going to show you is very shortly is I'm going to show you how we do things with private lending, and it should take up any and all questions that you have, I hope. And if it doesn't, I want to hear them. When I said I do tax deed auction properties, to give you an example, here's one that I did. It's in Amity, New York. I actually paid $100 for this house. What was wrong with it? Well, it needs total reno. But on the back side of the house, this part right here had a hole in the roof and a crawl space. We decided to tear it down and take it off of the house. We're going to rebuild it and put it back up in a period of time. But here's what it looks like now. And yes, we will need a private lender on this one. One of my students, and I do teach by the way, one of my students bought this house, and I went and looked at it. It was in Hornell. He paid $8,500 for this house, and within a few months, with just signs out front, he sold it for $16,000. He did nothing to the house. So as you can see, there's money in it. This was me relaxing on the porch of that house, taking a little break, reading the newspaper. Now, I'm going to show you one of the houses that I did do. Here is the house. It's in Sharon Springs, New York. It was in real bad shape because the folks that were living there unhooked the septic line in the cellar, and it was running right out the front, or out the garage door and down the street. Needless to say, we rehabbed the whole house, new roof and everything, and we got done. This is what it looked like. I have inside pictures too, but we don't have time to show them in the video. We've done, excuse me, I got the hiccups, but I'll keep going. We've done several other houses, and this is one that we've just got a contract on. It's in Troy. Nice area, 5,000 square foot house. Here's another picture of it. It has fire damage, and as you can see, the back of the garage where the fire was in that back section of the roof. We're going to be doing that one. Yes, we are looking for a private lender to lend that. Why do we use private lenders instead of the bank? Well, first of all, let me tell you this before I get into that. Right now we're getting into what we call a gold rush of houses in real estate. And nobody really knows what happened at the Obama election, but before it, we do know that over 2 million homes that were up for foreclosure were told not to foreclose until after the election. Those homes will be coming on the market in soon. We buy foreclosure homes, and right now I have a contract, or not a contract per se, but an agreement with a company in Washington D.C. that gets the homes directly from the banks. There will be no MLS listings on those homes. I will get notice of those, and I can buy any of them I want, and they are pennies on the dollar. For instance, a $100,000 home, I might buy it for $20,000 or $30,000. Good, bad, or indifferent. Most likely, they'll be in halfway decent shape. But that being said, not only will there be more foreclosures, but the tax deed, and if you don't know what a tax deed is, or tax deed property is, if you don't pay your taxes here in New York State for 3 years, they'll take your house and then they'll auction it off and sell it and get the taxes that way. And we buy houses that way, and I just showed you a couple of them. And there's going to be a lot more of them coming up. We have a lot of counties here in New York State, and I have connections with quite a few of the counties, and we will be buying houses. Now, it doesn't seem like we should be buying houses out of our area. The fact of the matter is, everybody's got to live someplace, and with the internet and stuff today, we can get everything done. We don't have to worry about that. Now I'm going to get into the other area that I wanted to discuss with you about the private lending. I don't like to call it private lending. I like to call it private partnerships, funding partnerships. And what it just means is the same thing as private lending, but it sounds a little nicer. It's safe, it's secure, and I'm going to show you why and how. Let me get around to the other end of the camera, and I will get into the, it's on my computer, and I will show it to you. And welcome to the world of private lending. This is the best time in history to buy real estate. And I just told you that. It's a gold rush. There are people actually giving houses away because they just want to get rid of them. And by the way, if the capital gains goes up like it is supposed to go, then we've got ways of dealing with that too, so that you don't lose your shirt selling that house. This is a house that actually was put up by the folks that did this PowerPoint. It is not one of my houses, but it gives you the same kind of an idea. We buy at a low rate. Now in this case, the purchase price is $107,000. The repairs on this house was $22,000, and it was sold for $209,000. There's quite a nice piece of change in there. The profit is $80,000. We have, and that house in Troy that I just showed you, that should have about $100,000 in profit. Here's another one that's, and these are not huge houses. These are just average, everyday houses that normal, everyday people live in. It's purchased for $55,000. We buy them actually sometimes a lot cheaper than that. And the repairs on it would be $17,500. Now that, you never know what you're gonna find in the house and what it's gonna cost, but we have a pretty good idea when we go and look at them. That sold for $150,000. Now that's a pretty damn nice profit too, $77,500. And who is a private lender? That would be an individual who loans their money to their investment capital or retirement account, or loans from those areas. They are not a partner with me, but we treat them like they're partners because they're very important to me. And they do a one-on-one transaction. There's not a lot of people involved. Why would you be interested in doing private lending? You can earn up to 14 times more than what you get in the traditional sources, like a money market certificate and bank account and that type of thing. There's no volatility. Your principal remains the same, and you earn a reliable and certain return, unlike the stock market. The stock market jumps up and down and sideways. Today you could be making money, tomorrow you could lose money. While the other folks who are doing this are jumping out the windows, you're going to be happy because your rate's going to be the exact same thing as we agreed on. You can get your principal back in case of an emergency. That means that if you have an emergency and you need your money back, we will find another lending partner that will pick up your balance and take over for you, and we'll get you out of the thing. Your money is safe and secure. And how do we figure that? Let's look. I can pay a high rate of return, and the reason is I buy at 30 to 40% of the market value. There is no middle people involved. There is no realtors. There's no banks. There's no middlemen. Just no middle people. It's you and me. I sell at full appraisal price, which means usually we have a realtor sell it at a full appraisal price, or in many cases we've had people come and say, hey, I want to buy that house as soon as you're done with it. Okay. We take their number and we call them. And I get properties occupied fast. Now, that also pertains to lease options. We also sometimes buy these properties, fix them, and lease them out to somebody that has not the best credit in the world, but down the road can buy it in a couple of years on a credit repair program. And they put down a high deposit on it, and we make money in between on a spread. And we'll get into that, what a spread is, in a little bit. Why would you be interested? I can close a deal much quicker with you. I can do unlimited number of deals with private lenders. And the reason that, that's great is because if I call a bank, which I can't do anyway, but if I called the bank and said, hey, I want to lend or want to borrow a certain number of dollars, it'd take them weeks to even say yes or no. I can negotiate more profitable deals since we can move faster, and that's exactly why we can get such great deals. If I know that you have a number of dollars in funds that you want to invest, I can go out and find a deal, and I can offer that person that's the seller a fast cash price, and they want the money and they want to move on. And with the fact that I can get the money today and get this deal closed, I can get that house cheap. Where to get the money for high rates of returns? Well, you can go to certificates of deposit, which is a CD, money market accounts, savings accounts, and here's a couple that you probably never thought of: investment capital IRA retirement accounts. IRA, if you have an IRA, let's say you work for Ma Bell for a number of years and retired, and it's just laying around not doing much. It's you've got somebody taking care of it and they're not making you much money. You can roll that over to an equity trust account and be able to lend out of it and control that money yourself. You have nobody in between. It's you and Equity Trust, and Equity Trust just is a what's the word for it? They take care of the money, but they don't lend it out or anything. It's just there in their account. Home equity lines. If you have a house that is almost paid off and you have a lot of equity in it, you can borrow that money out of for, well, right now you could probably do it for 4 to 5%, and who knows, you might double your money bringing the money to me. Brokerage accounts. There's another place. How to use your retirement account. Open an account at Equity Trust, complete a direction of investment, and get started. Write down the number. I get the camera so you can see it. And then call Equity Trust. They'll help you right out. I mean, they are good people. They don't jerk you around, and they got some real knowledgeable people there. And if you want to know anything about investing, they have somebody can tell you. How to use your equity in your home to get high rates of return. Do business like the bank and pocket the spread. So in other words, you're going to take the equity out of your home. You're going to do a home equity loan. And then if you have, let's say that you have $30,000 in equity, and you borrow that at 4 to 5%, and you lend that out to me, you could be making almost double. So in other words, you can pay your mortgage and still have money left over every month, and it's not making you money in the bank like that. How to use your stock without selling. Now this one's I'm not real keen on, but you can borrow on a margin if the rate is low enough and pocket the spread. I'd be careful. Let's discuss my private lending program. The interest rate. I will not tell you what the interest rate is on this video. The interest rate will be, though, what you and I agree to. If we can agree to a rate of interest, and you'll get that, and that's what will be in your loan. And the loan to value. I have a CD that I did that says that I'll let you lend up to 70% of the loan to value. In other words, what the house is actually worth after repair. That is not true. I will only let you go up 65%. It's safer, and I want you safe. The term is how long the money's going to be out there, and you're going to lend it to me. Payments. You can get payments every month, principal and interest, or you can let the money accrue. And like if it's, I don't do that on long-term lease options, but and I'll explain that more. But on a short-term renovation, I prefer to have you put the money out there and no payments, no interest. Well, you get the interest, it accrues, but your principal and interest accrues for in the length of the loan. Then you get a bigger chunk of money. Your principal is always making you the same amount. It's not reducing, and at the end you get your interest rate. Payments, the same thing there. As I just said, I prefer to do no payments. If you need the payments, we can do that. We can make it, do that. But and early withdrawals. If you need to get out early, we can do it. We just have to bring another private lender in to take your place. Your minimum return. we guarantee you 6 months of interest on your loan. Even if we close you out at 2 months, we'd still guarantee you 6 months. Why? We want to keep you around, and we don't want you upset with us, and we'd like to keep right on doing business with you. How are you protected? Well, every home is going to have a deed of trust or a mortgage on it. You are going to be supplying the money for the mortgage, so you will get the first mortgage on the property. And if I don't pay you, you get the property and the equity which is in it. Now remember, we're talking about 65% loan to value. So on a $100,000 house, you would be only putting up $65,000, and there's still quite a bit of money there. Should it have to be sold to make money, and you probably make more than your interest rate anyway. Do I pull my private lender's money? No. Each loan for a property stands on its own. There may be more than one private lender per property, and that's if, let's say that you have, for that $100,000 home, you have $65,000 that we can borrow to buy the property, and then we might need, $15,000, $20,000, or $30,000 to renovate the property and make it saleable. We may take on a second private lender, give them a second mortgage, which has a higher rate of return. I don't really see it's any more risky, but that's how it's done. Am I concerned about the market conditions and not being able to sell a house? No, I'm not, because I buy at 30 to 40% or cents on the dollar, or even less in some cases. And my buyers are not shopping price. They're not looking for the lowest price. You are well secured by a low loan-to-value ratio. I could drop the price significantly on the home that I'm about to sell and still get all of your money. Where does the private lender send the funds? Now here's one that most people don't understand. You do not send it to me. It goes to the real estate attorney's trust account. In other words, I have a real estate attorney, and it goes in Karen's trust account. You don't send it to me. When you close, when we close on that property, Karen takes it out of the account. Again, the private lender does not give the funds directly to the real estate investor. Do you incur any costs associated with loaning the money? No. I pay all the closing costs, and I pay the attorney. So you have nothing to worry about there. Appraisal. The private lender's documents. Let's talk about that. When you become my private funder on a property, and you get the first deed of mortgage, you will get the appraisal on the property, the promissory note, the deed of trust, mortgage, a copy of the insurance policy, which you're going to be named on as an additional insured. Should the house burn down, you'll get paid. Title policy, so that you know there's a clear title. And the real estate attorney prepares it all, puts it in a package, and makes sure you get it. What is the range of investments? I use larger amounts for purchasing properties, and I use smaller amounts for rehabbing properties. However, it does not mean that you can't be, if you want to be and you have the funds, if I find a property for $65,000 and it's worth $100,000 and I need another $20,000 to repair it, you can do both. And there's no problem with that. How do we move forward? Well, first of all, you tell me how much you want to invest, what you've got on hand that you want to invest. I'll go find us a deal, and that's not going to be too hard. I'll find one very soon. I'll schedule a closing with the real estate attorney, and we're in business. Now that's the end of the PowerPoint, and I hope that you've learned from the PowerPoint and from what I told you this morning, and I hope to hear from you. Remember, our number is 518-283-1358. It's Four Seasons Holdings. I also have another company called Heritage Hills Construction, and we'd like to see you as a business partner. Have a great day.